In this example problem, we have a capacitor that has been charged by a 90-volt power supply. And then we place the fully charged capacitor in series with an inductor. So we have an LC circuit. And we know what the inductance of the inductor is. And first we want to know what the angular frequency is. So the angular frequency we learned in the previous video is equal to the square root of the inductance times the capacitance. So I plugged in my capacitance, I plugged in my inductance. Now mind you, when I actually put this in my calculator, I did 30 times 10 to the minus 6 and 20 times 10 to the minus 3. And remember, since we're dealing with an oscillation or an angular frequency, it's in units of radians per second. In part B, we want to know what the maximum energy stored in the capacitor is. So I've gone back to my chapter 24 notes and I pulled out my equation for the potential energy. And we know what the voltage is because that's the voltage from the power supply used to charge the capacitor. And we know what the capacitance of the capacitor is, so we can find that potential energy. And finally, we're asked what is the energy stored in the inductor at 2 milliseconds. So that means we need to be able to find the current to be able to find the potential energy in the inductor. So notice here, potential energy in the inductor needs the current. So I pulled out our equation that is current as a function of time. Remember, the maximum charge comes from the power supply because we charged up the capacitor and then inserted it. So I've replaced Q with capacitance times the voltage. And luckily we found this back here in part A. Please be careful, you put your calculator in radians before taking the sign of the angular frequency times the time. Because remember, this is in radians here. And then we solve for the current, which we can then plug back up here into the potential energy equation, given using the inductance given in the problem, and we can find the potential energy in the inductor at that particular time.